Censorship on television in the United Kingdom. The British Board of Film Classification, also known by its acronym BBFC, is the organization responsible for the classification and censorship of film, videos, and some video games. Within the UK, the BBFC is an independent, non-governmental organization. Their actions are controlled by an administration council, selected by leaders of the film industry's manufacturing and sector service. This council chooses the president, who is assigned the responsibility for the classification of films, of videos, and the director, who executes the responsibility and formulates the policies. The organization is located in Soho Square, Soho, London. Classification process. Anyone can send a film, pay the fee, currently 1.002 euros plus VAT, for a 2-hour movies. And within a couple of weeks, you will be awarded one of the 6 certificates. According to the Video Recording Law of 1984, all video releases, without exception, must be classified by the BBFC, making it illegal to supply material that has been rejected as a certification. Video games that contain specific themes must also be submitted to the BBFC process to receive a legal classification. All videos and games evaluated by the BBFC receive a certificate along with a consumer notice that describes the content of sex, violence, and full language. Classifications currently in use are UC PG 12, 12A, 15, 18 and R18. In chronological order, this is a complete list of this classification for the BBFC.
The first is universal, that is suitable for all. This category should be suitable for children 4 years old or over. Should we have a positive environment? Consideration should be given to points such as discrimination, that in this category are disapproved. Another important point is a drug, that are only used for educational purposes. Another important point is language. Using this field should be very mild. The language in this category is very smooth for the children, and the point of the sex should only be with references to such behavior, or for example to a kiss. And the last one is the violence. Is only accepted if it is unreal, for example to a cartoons or animated or comic movies.
Classification is a film that should not unsettle a child around age or older. This kind of film can watch it all kids of all ages, but the parents are advised for the content of the same film because it can have scenes that make the children upset. In this kind of film, the discrimination of language or behavior is unlikely to be acceptable unless clearly disapproved of, or in an educational or historical content. The drugs. In this kind of film, the reference of drug or drug misuse must be innocuous, but it has to have an a suitable message anti-drugs in the end of the film or in the middle of it. But if it doesn't have a anti-drug message, it can be this kind of classification. In the language, this kind of film can have mild but only language. If the language in some level becomes aggressive or very frequent, this kind of film is going to be considered in another classifications. The sexual activity might be implied, but it has to be discreet and infrequent. In the violence will be usually mild. However, there might be moderate violence without any detail, without some kind of these gross scenes or something like that. It can have scenes with blood.
Hi, my name is Joel, and I'm going to talk about the 12A classification. This classification is generally for children that these movies doesn't have a suitable content, and they can see these movies if they are complained by an adult. But if you are under 12, the movies won't let you see this kind of movies. They try to the children. The older people take the children to see this kind of movies. The UK movies or UK contain TV consider 4 points to classify 12 or 12. The first one is discrimination. Discriminatory language or behavior mustn't be endorsed by the word as whole. It means that the language has to be moderate to be under 12A classification. And the second one is drugs. Drugs can be mentioned in the movie or in the TV, but if the movie says instructions about how to use it, that will be considered 12A. The third point that the UK TV or films considers is language. There may be moderate language. A strong language may be used in that content, but they consider 3 points in this context. The context that they use it, who is using it, and the last one is the way that they mention that kind of language that it can injure someone else or something like that. The last one is violence, and there may be some of violence under the movie or the content of the TV, but it shouldn't have dwell on the title. We can see it in the comedy movies that they are classified to all the people, but they don't use blood or something like that in some of their jokes.
15 suitable for 15 years and over. No one younger than 15 may see a 15 film in a cinema. No one younger than 15 may rent or buy a 15 rated video work. Discrimination. The work as a whole must not endorse discriminatory language or behavior. Also, there may be racist, homophobic, or other discriminatory themes in language. Drugs. Drugs taking may be shown, but the work as a whole must not promote or encourage drug misuse. For example, through detailed instruction, the misuse of easily accessible and highly dangerous substances. For example, aerosols or solvents is unlikely to be acceptable. Language. There may be a strong language. Very strong language may be permitted. Depending on the manner in which it is used, who is using the language, it is frequency within the work as a whole and any special contextual justification. Violence. Violence may be strong but should not always on the infliction of pain or injury. The strongest gory images are unlikely to be acceptable. A strong sadistic violence is also unlikely to be acceptable. Suitable only for adults. No one younger than 18 may see an 18 film in a cinema. No one younger than 18 may rent or buy an 18 rated video work. Adults should be free to choose their own entertainments. Exceptions are most likely in the following areas: where the material is in branch of the criminal law or has been created through the commission of a criminal offense, where material or treatment appears to us to risk harm to individuals or through their behavior to society. For example, the detailed portrayal of violent or dangerous acts or of illegal drug use, which may cause harm to public health or morals. These may include portraits of sadistic violence, rape, or other consensual sexually violent behavior which make this violence look appealing, reinforce the suggestion that victims enjoy rape or other non-consensual sexually violent behavior, or which invite violent complicity in rape, other non-consensual sexually violent behavior, or other harmful violent activities. Where there are most explicit images of a sexual activity in the context of a sex work, see right, in the case of video works which may be more accessible to younger viewers, intervention may be more frequently than for cinema films.